That went so fast.
Oh man.
Hello.
Did you see the Jack Black doing the song dancing around and the medieval stuff, and he's just singing it like Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Thrones, Game of Thrones, Thrones, Throne of Thrones. It's so ridiculous.
I don't think so.
It's great.
Classic Jack Black. Hello, and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books.
The best books.
And today we are going to be talking about A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. We're going to start reading this.
Book number 1 from the Song of Ice and Fire series.
Bruh. My mouth is on fire.
Oh, damn. That hot sauce too much?
Ugh. I kept dipping and eating. Dip, eat, dip, eat, dip, eat. And it got a bit much.
Yeah.
My nose is running. Just like Daenerys, I'm chasing the dragon.
Oh.
Okay. So, if you are sad that Game of Thrones, the show, is over and you want more Game of Thrones content, or if you've been wanting to read the books for a while but have not found the time, we have got you covered here on Tea is Good, Books Are Better. Because we are going to read this whole damn book and we are going to break it up and compare it to the show and do all that shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We are going to get into it. I'm pumped.
Nice. Me too.
Okay. Let's talk about the book. This is just an intro episode, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking, about the book, about stuff around the book, like the show and
how we're going to read it.
And how it's going to happen. Yeah. And then in the next one, we'll have read the first few chapters.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about the book. You like that?
That is nice.
Mom got it for me from London.
Oh.
Jess is looking at my bookmark.
That's nice.
Yes, indeed.
It's like a flimsy piece of metal, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is from St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh.
I love it. These little cherry blossoms or whatever they are. They're so cute. Okay. This book was written in 1996.
Oh shit, I was 5 years old.
I was 3. A lot newer than the last book that we read.
Cry to heaven.
9 years newer, but still not new by any means.
I love the map in this book.
Mine looks different.
Constantly, as I used to read this, I would constantly be coming back and seeing where the fuck they are.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time in fantasy books. Look how different mine is.
Man, yours is just
it's
shaded in.
More detailed.
Yeah, it's way more detailed. Mine's like a quick sketch.
We gotta take a picture of this and share it on Instagram.
We should. The north and the south.
Yeah.
Of Westeros. Westeros.
What just looking at this map, what I like about it is the names.
Right?
I feel like in some fantasy novels, the writer tries a little bit too hard to come up with a creative fantasy sounding name.
Right?
There's this little part here called the Fingers.
Yeah.
Because it looks like...
It looks like fingers.
It's like a bunch of little peninsulas sticking out into the water. And of course it's called the Fingers. I totally believe that a group of people would call it the Fingers. But I imagine in another fantasy novel, I don't know, they would have called it the four-bladed sword or some bullshit.
Matt, it's agreed completely. I like how it's simple. It's completely believable that this is what people would call them.
Totally, yeah. There's a area called Sisterton made of islands called the Three Sisters. Of course. It makes perfect sense. see anything that stands out to you?
Do you see Lannisport beside Casterly Rock? Because I guess it's the Lannisters.
Wait, where's
they
Casterly Rock?
It's at the south to the left.
To the left.
It's not a sport like where the boats come and they trade with the Lannisters.
Oh, Lannisport. Yeah. Okay. Right next to Casterly Rock. Makes sense.
The broken arm.
The broken arm. Oh yeah, it's like it's like a little piece of land that's looks like it was once attached to this other piece of land, but is separated by water. I love this. Hellbolt.
Hellbolt?
What in the heck? In Dorne? Hellbolt?
Where the fuck?
Oh, you don't have it. It's right next to this little river. Hellbolt. Weird. Interesting. Why are the maps different?
Maybe the maps change with the book, with where the story
with
takes
each
place.
new added book, yeah.
With the show. The intro changes.
Interesting. Oh, the King's Road. There's a road that runs all the way from the north to the south.
King's Road.
Cool.
I like the trident, the 3 rivers.
Oh, that split off. One's called the Red Fork, the other's the Blue Fork, and the other's the Green Fork.
Oh my.
Huh. Yeah, so I like that the names are all believable. It's not too try hard. Let's talk about George R.R. Martin.
Okay.
You've read this book before. And what else have you read?
I think I read up partially book 4.
Okay, up to partway through book 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never read George R.R. Martin, except for... I brought it, actually.
Oh.
This book. Not this book. That was a planner. This book.
Oh.
The Ice Dragon.
It's like a child?
Yeah, it's like a small little kid's book, I think. But it's super cute. It's got like illustrations.
Oh!
It takes place in the same world.
Does it?
Yeah. You can borrow it if you want to read it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's called The Ice Dragon. It's about a little girl and an ice dragon. And this is like back when Targaryens ruled, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's like dragon warriors in the sky all the time kind of thing. Or maybe it's even older than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's adorable.
But yeah, that's the only thing by George R.R. Martin I've read. But obviously it's like a children's book, so it's not going to be the same level of writing. But it's still fun. It's a fun book.
The fucking illustrations are great. Look at that dragon.
Yeah. Who's it illustrated by?
It's cute. Illustrated by Lewis Royd.
Lewis Royd. Okay. Cool.
Aw, special first edition with a bonus poster. Did you get the bonus poster?
It's the cover.
That's barely a poster.
Right?
Duped.
They duped me. Okay. So this is going to be my first time ever reading a Game of Thrones or any of A Song of Ice and Fire. I have watched the show, just for those who don't know, because I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be starting at this episode and they won't have read our previous one, or listened to our previous one.
I would have listened to Grind to Heaven, like, what that? Game of Thrones is.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But do go back and listen to Cry to Heaven, because
Anne Rice
that
is
shit's
an
nuts.
artiste. Good writing.
Let's get into what we're drinking before we get...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, this episode's going to be all over the place.
It is.
Our apologies.
This is Orange Spice Rooibos tea.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you know?
Ooh, I like that.
Chamomile, or herbal teas in general, and rooibos teas aren't actually true teas.
What are they?
It's
Why?
like grown differently or something, so it's like not technically a true tea.
Okay.
I don't really know much about it. But...
All right.
Fun fact. Fun fact without any evidence to support it. Let's talk about fantasy a little bit, because this is a fantasy novel.
Fantasy was my favorite genre growing up.
Yeah, same. I think it still is my favorite genre.
Yeah.
What kind of fantasy are you used to?
Usually, when I think of fantasy, I think of medieval with fantastical creatures.
Yeah, my mind goes to medieval fantasy first.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is the one that comes straight into my head.
You got Inheritance series.
Inheritance Cycle, yeah.
Inheritance Cycle.
By Christopher Paolini.
I just want to call it Aragon series.
Yeah. So there's that one, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, the show comes to mind.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, there's different types of fantasy.
Yeah.
There's urban fantasy, which we've talked like, briefly about before.
That would be like, oh, fuck, what is that?
It would be like, your Vampire Chronicles. That's probably urban fantasy.
Could be.
Or
it's usually found under horror, though.
Yeah, that makes sense too. But horror also falls under the fantasy genre.
Oh! Fun fact! Does that mean technically everything can fall under fantasy? All fiction.
There's a lot of different umbrellas. So yeah. And then like fantasy and horror and those, they all fall under another umbrella.
Would Pendragon be?
Urban fantasy? Yeah.
I was thinking, like, is that sci-fi or fantasy? Maybe it's a beautiful mix of both. I mean,
it's all arguable, I think. Mm-hmm. The one that comes to mind for me right away for urban fantasy is the Mortal Instruments.
That's what I was trying to fucking say. But I was like, what? Redhead girl?
Yeah. So City of Bones.
Yeah.
That shit. And this all falls under the umbrella of... What is it called? I have forgotten.
Fantasy?
Huh?
Fantasy?
No. Fantasy falls under the same umbrella.
Oh. Fiction?
Speculative fiction.
Oh.
Speculative fiction, which is basically like, what if?
Oh.
That's, yeah. So it's like, what if there were demons that popped into Earth every once in a while? Mortal Instruments. What if dragons used to exist in the medieval times? Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings. Inheritance Cycle. It's all those, like, what if questions. And then all of horror and all of sci-fi, it all falls under the speculative fiction as well. Nice. Yeah. Did you know that there's, like, kind of a stigma against genre writing in the creative writing community?
No.
Yeah, so this was kind of... I figured this out slowly. Because I'm in creative writing at school, for those who don't know. So this is something I figured out slowly during my education. That, yeah, there's a bit of a stigma or, like, an aversion towards genre writing in the writing community.
Why?
Good question. I don't know if there's one answer to that question, but I think there's a couple of reasons that I've thought maybe this is why. Genre work is a lot more marketable. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more commercial, which maybe some writers think makes genre writers like sellouts. So, like, they're writing this for the money because they think it'll sell well, so it's for the money.
Damn, man, gatekeepers.
Yeah. Obviously, that's bullshit. If someone wanted money, they wouldn't be fucking writing.
Aren't true.
Yeah. Or it could be that genre work isn't... Some people don't think it's as meaningful as something that's, like, based in reality. So, like, realism or literary.
Fuck off. Oh my god. Yeah. A lot of people read to escape reality. Come on.
Yeah, but that's what I think it might be. Obviously, I completely disagree. I'm definitely a genre writer. So I completely disagree with these.
Damn.
I was in class one time, and we were discussing Stephen King. And one of the students, like, piped up. She, like, complimented him, but she was, like... It was kind of like a backhanded compliment. Because she was, like, obviously, he's, like, a genre writer, but... blah, 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 blah. Right? And that's when I was like, huh? That was, like, my first clue as to, you know... Maybe there's...
Jesus Christ.
a bit of a stigma.
The stigma is that they're just jealous that everyone likes genres and doesn't want to read your boring ass nonfiction
coming of age story. I think just don't shit on other people's writing.
Right?
Unless it's bad.
Come on, you do you.
Yeah, right.
Forget about others.
People who write genre because they love genre. They don't write it for any other reason. Right. They're not writing it for you if you don't want to read it. Go read something else if you don't like it.
Damn. Because everyone else likes genre. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like, it sells for a reason.
It's good.
People like it. And that's okay. It's okay for people to like it. It's okay for lots of people to like it. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. You think to be an artist, you need to be like, I don't even know.
I always imagine
just thinking about it frustrates me.
In art.
Yeah.
That's me this way.
Yeah, the art world in general is very much... It's definitely not as much like that anymore, but it's still got the remnants of that sort of, policing.
I mean, every time I hear people going, I wish music was like back in the day, and I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, like,
you have the internet. You can find more than what's played on the radio.
Just, go to Spotify and download an old 90s playlist or some shit. Yeah, completely. Artists... Like, people shitting on Lil Nas for Old Town Road. Like, I love that song. First of all. But even if you don't like it, you kind of gotta respect that he's taken these two different styles and mashed them together, hip-hop and country. That's cool. It's not a brand new idea, but he's done it in a way where it works. And people like it for a reason. I can't keep going on about this because I'll just get more and more frustrated. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. It's always good for, people to take risks and try different things. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does. And that's going to lead to even newer and greater things. Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing for art to keep evolving. To want to stay stuck in one era is...
lame.
Move
forward. If you don't like where you are,
problematic.
Move forward.
Yeah. Like, a lot of music.
Like, stop evoking the past.
Right. It's just, Anyway, that went kind of off the rails a little bit.
Man, well, that was fucking dumb. Genre hating, that's new.
Yeah. Fun fact. I've been talking a lot. Is there anything you want to say about... No? Okay, I'll just keep going.
Patiently reading until this.
Oh, yes. Just FYI. Oh, shit. Yeah, keep listening, because there's something coming later that you're not going to want to miss. Jess is getting excited for it. Okay. Just an FYI for those who are listening and are planning to listen to our Game of Thrones series. We are going to be talking about the show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Comparing?
Yes. We're going to be talking about how much we know. We're going to be talking about how it diverges from the books. We're going to be comparing it to the book as we read. I have a feeling some people might want us to go into the book without the influence of the show.
Yeah.
Which...
there's always those.
Is understandable. Like, wish we could, but... that's simply impossible at this point. So we're not going to
disappoint.
We're not going to pretend. We're not going to... It's impossible. So we're not going to pretend we don't have the influence of the show.
My favorite show. I've seen it so many times. I will be comparing.
Yeah. And I think some people want to know about, like, where it diverges and what the differences are. So we're going to talk about it. That's just a warning. If you're not happy with that, I'm sorry.
You'll like it anyway.
Yeah. But we are going to openly talk about the differences, the similarities between the show and the books, and we are going to talk about which we prefer as well. So obviously that means we're going to be in spoiler territory the whole time.
The whole time.
So if you want to watch the show and you don't want it spoiled for you, please go binge it.
Yeah, isn't it on Crave?
It depends where they're listening from.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're in Canada, you can get it on Crave. So yeah, we are likely going to be bringing up things from the show that might spoil something that happens later in the book. For those who haven't seen the show or read the book, there will be spoilers. I want to give it like 1,000 warnings. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Also, I do want to encourage you to read the book along with us, our lovely listeners. Please. But also, it's not necessary. If you listen to our Cry to Heaven episodes, then you know that the summaries we do on every chapter are quite thorough.
Yeah.
We get into the details. We like to get into the details. We don't really miss anything. So you're going to know everything we're talking about just by listening to the podcast. Yeah. So don't worry about reading the book if that's something that you don't want to do. But also you should read the book. But you don't have to. You don't have to. We are going to bring up everything. It's basically a play-by-play. Yeah. Ever heard of Spark Notes? It's basically us. Okay, is there anything else we should get into? Jess? I've been talking a buttload. I didn't even prepare shit because I wasn't aware what we were doing for this episode. All I did was... Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, by the way, this episode's all over the place, but we're just excited to get into this book.
I am.
Yeah, and we thought, I don't know, doing an intro was maybe a smart way to kind of divvy up how this is going to work as we talk about the books in the upcoming episodes. So if you're starting here and you have not listened to our previous episodes on Cry to Heaven, basically what we do is we read a chapter beforehand. As we're recording, we do a play-by-play of each chapter. We kind of do a breakdown. We talk about characters. We do a little bit of analyzing, a little bit of creative writing analysis on my end. On Jessica's end, a little bit of fangirling.
Yeah.
No, Jess is a huge reader, so...
I was a huge reader.
We're getting back into it, so... Jess knows what she's talking about as well. Oh, I'm super excited also to read this because I have a fantasy novel in the works. Mm. So this is going to be cool for me for, inspiration, a look into how different writers tackle the genre. George R.R. Martin, I've heard, likes to do everything that the fantasy genre doesn't do.
He goes more in depth into the politics rather than...
I don't know. He likes to take the stereotypes and flip them on their head. Ooh. Kind of thing. Or yeah, he likes to take what fantasy typically does and flip it. I guess that's where the subverting expectations comes from, kind of thing. The main character will die.
Oh, yeah.
And he won't come back to life, which is something that happens in fantasy novels. But if I'm being honest, I haven't read a whole lot of medieval fantasy. I've read parts...
Yeah, it's something I just realized when we were talking about this. I was like, wait, what? But they're my favorite.
Right? I've read a lot of urban fantasy, but not a lot of medieval fantasy. I think it's because those books are so dense.
Yeah, usually they're the thickest books you can find in the fucking bookstore.
I've read parts of Lord of the Rings, but I have not finished that series.
Really? Remember back when you were reading those? And you're halfway through the book and you tell me they haven't even left yet. They're still in Hobbiton.
Yeah, well, also, we've talked about this before too, but Tolkien is really hard to read.
Yeah, and I tried.
The fantasy genre has changed a lot since he was around. Tolkien's work is very exposition heavy, which is all about explaining this and that. He'll take a whole chapter to explain what a hobbit is. Readers have evolved to where we don't have the patience for that anymore. Yeah. We want to find out through the actions of the character. So nowadays, if, Lord of the Rings was written, we would not have a breakdown of what a hobbit is. We would basically just
who doesn't
find
know
out what there is about him by seeing him encounter, Gandalf and seeing how much shorter the Hobbit is. And, we learn about things that way.
Mm-hmm. I think also because
through other characters.
Fantasy is a lot more mainstream now. Wizards, hobbits, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, anyone into fantasy or any RPGs really knows what those are. That back then, or whenever the fuck Lord of the Rings was written, probably wasn't very mainstream.
Yeah, that's true. People have halflings in their fantasy stories nowadays.
Like, I'm thinking of D&D, and you can, do these different species.
And everyone knows what it is now.
Yeah.
Part of that's because of the movies.
True.
But the books were huge before the movies ever came out as well, so gotta give Tolkien credit for that as well.
He's still a legend.
Still a legend. But didn't you say that George R.R. Martin wrote A Song of Ice and Fire as a kind of a response?
Yeah, I don't remember where I read or heard that, but probably it was a response to The Return of the King when Aragorn became king, and how it ended, all celebrations that Aragorn was now king, and George still had questions, what laws did he enact? Did he hunt down and murder every single orc, or did they make peace treaties? What happened?
Yeah. You said A Game of Thrones, and the whole series was kind of his thoughts about what would happen in that situation.
Yeah, going to the leader's point of view, politics, and what they are thinking, and where their hearts are at, their
and how that affects
their goals.
How that affects the whole continent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, George R.R. Martin has read Tolkien a lot. He said in interviews that, they were his favorite books as a kid. He read them over and over. Also, in the second book, in The Two Towers, when... I think it's in Two Towers, or is it in the third one? When Frodo gets killed by Shelob. I put that in quotes. Killed by Shelob. That was in 3. Okay, in Return of the King. Mm-hmm. He said, that moment, really affected him, because he was, he thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And he was like, holy shit, our main character just died. What happens now? So you can see the influence in his books in A Game of Thrones.
Oh, man. And it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting that a story moves on without the main character. It's... so realistic.
Imagine seeing that reading that for the first time, and it's in the third book. The main character dies, and there's so much book left. That would shake you to your core.
Yeah.
So he was so affected by that he had to write it that way, and not have them come back to life.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. He says if he had written, Lord of the Rings, he wouldn't have had Gandalf come back to life. Gandalf would have stayed dead. Yeah.
Figure out another way.
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta move on.
How will you survive without him?
Yeah.
What will the effects be? Fun, interesting. I'm really excited. Okay. Are you ready? Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Okay, so our plan... So, this book is split up. The chapters are split up from different characters' point of view.
Yes.
Each book is different characters. There's some main characters that stay, but you get some different ones, and it changes around, and it's really, really cool to read from their points of how the story moves from their points of view.
Yeah.
So, I thought it would be cool if we all had specific... the two of us had specific characters to read from throughout the entire book.
Cool. So we each have our own characters.
Yeah. And so I got my little box, and I have the characters on pieces of paper, and we're going to randomly draw them, and it's going to be fun.
So we're going to find out who we are. Is there an even amount of characters?
Yeah, it's 24 each.
Oh, okay, dope.
There's 8.
8 perspectives in this whole book?
Plus the one character who's the epilogue.
Epilogue?
Oh, the very beginning. The very
prologue.
First. The prologue, yeah.
Oh, okay. So who will do the prologue?
Who will start us out in this journey?
Wow.
Want to go first?
Okay.
Pick one.
I see DA.
Ah, shit.
Sorry, shake it up again.
Close your eyes and stick your hand in here.
I just hold it up. Who do I got? Yes! I got Jon Snow,
Jon Snow.
Yes, queen. I got Jon.
Also, that'll be exciting because we'll get to really know these characters.
Yeah. We're gonna feel like we are them. Jess is choosing one.
Oh, I got Will.
Who the fuck is Will?
That's the prologue.
Oh.
I get to start us out.
Okay. I don't know who that is. Cool. I'm choosing my second one. Daenerys.
Damn.
Oh shit. I have Daenerys and Jon. Bro.
Tyrion Lannister.
Cool. Just got Tyrion. Alright. Choosing my third. Arya Stark.
Oh.
Cool. I feel like I'm getting all the most badass characters.
Probably not. Sansa Stark.
Nice.
Whoa.
Whoa. The dogs are howling out there.
So I still need 2 more and you need 1 more. I didn't plan this out. Yeah, what's her face? Lexi. Very sad doggo.
Oh, does she miss?
I think so. She's always whines when she's alone.
We gotta close this.
I guess these 2 are me. Should I read them both and then you read yours?
Wait, hang on. I know you're sad, but shut up. I'm trying to record your dog.
Or should I read one and you read and then I read?
Okay.
Because these 2 are me
So
and then that's you.
Oh, okay. Jess is getting 2 more because Will is only 1 chapter.
Yeah.
Right? Only the prologue. Yeah. So Jess has 2, I have 1. So yeah, go ahead and read one of them.
Bran Stark.
Cool. Future king.
According to the show.
Yeah. I got Eddard.
Ooh.
Ned.
Then I know who this is.
Daddy Ned.
It's Catelyn.
Cool. Oh my god, we have all our characters. Yay. Okay, so mine are Jon, Daenerys, Arya, and Eddard. And you have?
I have Bran, Sansa, Catelyn, Tyrion, and Will.
Who the fuck is Will? I guess we'll find out. If you want to know who Will is, come back for the next episode. This is fun.
It is fun.
Cool. Oh my god, look at all our characters. Nice. I like how we got like an equal split of genders as well.
Did we?
Yeah, you got 2 women, I got...
Oh, I did!
2 women, you got 2 men, I got 2 men.
Ah!
This worked out really well.
It did.
Cool. And I'm excited about my characters. Are you excited about yours?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I've never read it, so I don't know.
I don't remember because I haven't read it in a long time.
But you have read this before.
Yeah, I know the book is good, so I'm not bothered.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. All right, so we're going to end it here so that you can come back and listen to the next one. Keep this one short and sweet. Come back next time when we start actually reading a Game of Thrones. All right, thank you so much for listening. Let's plug our shit real quick. If you want more of the podcast... Codcast.
The Codcast?
That would be a good name for like a podcast about fish. The Codcast. The Codcast. Your face is like, get out.
What are you talking about?
Jesus. Okay. If you want more of the podcast, please check out our Instagrams. The podcast Instagram is Tigbab Podcast, Tigbab. You can also follow us individually. Mine is Crimby. Jessica's is just.egan24. You can also find the Facebook page, Tigbab Podcast again, or Tea is Good, Books Are Better. If you search that, you should find it there. And please check out Baram Barami's YouTube channel. He made our jingle. He's super cool. He makes dope music. Please check out his channel. That's Bahram. Last name is spelled the same way with an I at the end. Yes, that's his real name. And then we also have a Patreon. Please consider contributing. You would be helping us out a lot. We also have some fun tiers with different rewards as well. So you will be getting something in return for your contribution. We need a second microphone, so you would be helping us out a lot. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in the next episode when we start a Game of Thrones. Sorry if we tricked you by having you listen to this one. If you were hoping to start a Game of Thrones. Okay. Jess?
Hey!
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Say bye to the people.
Bye!
See you next time.